Welcome to Who Wants to Be an Entrepreneur with Nancy Gaskins, inspiring and teaching everyday people just like you how to create, fund, and live a life worth smiling and talking about. I happen to believe one of the best ways to do this is by owning and operating your own business and by becoming an entrepreneur. My name is Nancy Gaskins, and I help entrepreneurs just like you to discover creative solutions to grow your business. My platforms provide entrepreneurs a virtual space to meet, mastermind, do business together. We share tools, tips, best practices, resources, learn, cooperate, and celebrate. There's a whole lot of stuff going on right there in our platforms. If you're ready to rise higher, go further, faster, we invite you to connect, partner, and profit with us. You can do that by joining us each Friday on our Lunch and Learn Zoom Fridays events. We meet 11:30 to 1 Central Standard Time online via Zoom. Come bring your elevator pitch, an irresistible offer, and earn as you learn how to grow your business using an exciting new economy called virtual marketplaces. Home-based business opportunities, multiple streams of incomes, all of those things, work from home, those are really hot topics right now online. The Google rankings will show that everybody's out there searching. What are they doing? They're looking for affordable options like never before. I've decided to do something a little different this fall, and I've invited aspiring, emerging, and seasoned entrepreneurs to come onto my show, and they've been willing to share their experience with us, the good, the bad, and the ugly. These people are real people just like you and I. They've agreed to share their stories in hopes of inspiring and encouraging you to follow your heart and become an entrepreneur. So I'm very excited about today's guest, Mr. Gary Sizemore. Welcome to the show, Gary.
Thank you for having me, Nancy.
Gary is local, actually. Believe it or not, we have a global platform, global entrepreneurs from all over the world. So that's another real treat for me that he's right here in Pensacola. So I'm going to let him give you a little backstory on who he is, where he's from, and how he got to the place where he is today. So take it away.
Thank you. I worked in the aviation industry for over 40 years before joining the Entrepreneur Source as a coach. My aviation experience focused on aviation safely mostly and crossed between both military and civil organizations. I've worked in aircraft maintenance, flown professionally as a pilot. I've worked in aircraft manufacturing and experimental testing. I've held positions with U.S. registered airlines and worked with large commercial cargo operators. The last 6 years or so of my career, I worked as a consultant and wrapped up the last consulting contract in September of last year. I joined TES shortly after that because I was looking for a new opportunity since that one had expired. Additional information, I've got 2 grown daughters and 4 grandchildren, and the 5th is on the way.
Oh boy, congratulations. There's nothing better than being grandparents, I'll tell you what. If we'd had these kids first, it's amazing, isn't it? It's just a whole new ball game. And boy, I have really enjoyed mine. So tell us about your business. What do you do? Who do you help? Who's your target market? And then explain a little bit about the products and services that you offer.
Sure. I help anyone basically who's dissatisfied or frustrated with their current career, or anyone who's just looking for a career. As a career ownership coach, my goal is to understand my clients' goals, needs, and expectations, and then help them to get as much information as they can possibly get around their new career or new career opportunities. Opportunities that support those goals, needs, and expectations that they have. My coaching is at no fee to my clients, and it carries no obligations.
That's rather interesting. So how do you get paid for your services?
I'm paid basically because the business community has decided if I bring them a client, it's a better, more well-rounded client who understands a little bit more about the processes. And so they essentially spend less time with the clients and have more meaningful discussions and things like that. So they pay like a finder's fee for clients that I turn over to them.
Okay. So are you primarily promoting entrepreneurship for them to own and operate their own business, or how's that work?
Well, yeah, I work with everybody, whether that's what their interest is in or not. And basically, what we want to do is celebrate points of clarity. So, someone who decides that the only thing really that's there for them, the only thing that they want to do is work in the corporate job market, we'll celebrate that and part as friends and move on. Again, someone who is ready to look at entrepreneurship, business ownership, we'll talk through those things: owning a business, starting a business from the ground up, purchasing a local business perhaps that they've seen for sale. But most often, the best opportunities that we can give them are franchise type opportunities. We work with about 140 different franchise brands, and they cross about 80 different industry segments.
Well, that was going to be one of my questions. I love right now is such a wonderful, wonderful time and the perfect climate for people to become an entrepreneur. You know, one of the wonderful things is we can do it part-time, full-time, flexible schedules, anything goes right now. And it's wonderful. Uh, I'm wondering, do you have a couple of examples that you might could give? You don't have to give names, about maybe some transitions that's happened for clients who've come in, or maybe some projects that you're working on, to kind of give everybody an idea of some of the things that you might could help them that they could aspire for.
Sure. Like I say, I work with many clients in all different walks of life and in all different stages of life. And, I have people that are looking at things such as healthy food alternatives and things like that, the franchise opportunities available there. Pet care, we have some opportunities in pet care, mobile pet care especially. I have a client now who is looking into that. We've also got some fairly high tech opportunities. One of them reacted to the coronavirus by developing a system that they come in and sanitize commercial kitchens and things like that. And then they have a proprietary product that they put down, and it lasts for about 30 days, but it prevents any bacteria or virus from growing on any of those surfaces or living on any of those surfaces. So there's some pretty exciting stuff out there right now.
That, folks, did you hear that? This is one of the wonderful things. This is how you know whether somebody is a true entrepreneur or not. Were they able to pivot? A lot of these businesses, they were traditional, brick and mortar. They were going, doing something totally different. Sometimes you have to pivot, 180 and do a total turnaround, total change. But every time something horrible happens, I want you to remember there's always opportunity. Some of the greatest fortunes that have ever been made in the world has been during tough times, because during tough times, what do we have to do? We have to come together. We have to use our brains and come up with creative solutions to overcome some of these problems. So that's a very exciting opportunity that we just heard about. And obviously due to COVID, and so there's going to be a lot of those, I think, that we're going to hear about or right going on. So do you have anything else?
One thing that you mentioned before about part-time and that sort of thing, franchise opportunities run that range as well. We have opportunities that are absentee ownership, so that you own the business, but you don't really have a lot to do in the business. There's a manager that you've hired and people that work your business, and you just kind of sit back and enjoy that additional income stream. We also have semi absentee models, so you would work part-time potentially as a manager or business development for that business, but someone else would actually be doing the work that business carried out. And then finally, we have owner operator opportunities as well. So you would be heavily engaged in whatever your business was on a full-time basis. And that includes running the business as well as doing the business.
Love that, because back in the day, those were not options. The option for franchises was you had to be there. And if you put skin in the game, you're going to be working around the clock and doing all that. So again, times have changed, and this is a great opportunity. Just you can become an entrepreneur without having to actually roll your sleeves up and do the actual physical work. So this is one of the things that we really need to work on, building up investment income so that when these opportunities come along, we can take advantage of those. And there's a variety of ways that you can get funding for franchise and all that. We'll save that for a different session. But don't be afraid if you don't have a lot of money, because a lot of these franchises, there's different revenue models, that you can use. Some of them are willing to help you with that, with the financing. There are some loans and opportunities available, grants and some things like that also. So please, when you hear that word franchise, don't just dismiss it and think, oh my gosh, I don't have, $500,000 to start a franchise. The other thing on these franchises that I'd like to share with you, they're not always brick and mortar. I believe I heard him say he was talking about some mobile things. That's a very hot topic right now, of having businesses that are mobile, that can go along, as well as some online ventures. So what would be some things that people would need to think about when kind of contemplating? Let's talk about franchises, because I think that's a great thing for folks to really look into right now, especially since the price points. I mean, folks, you're talking less than $1,000 all the way up the gamut. So there's every type of business available for you at different price points. So you want to share maybe some opportunities and why somebody would consider a franchise?
Sure. The first reason is because when you own a franchise, you're in business for yourself, but you're not in business by yourself. And what I mean by that is the franchise also has a stake in you being successful. So they're going to do everything they can to help you be successful. And the reason for that is quite simple. If you're not successful, it reflects on their books and on their brand as well. It's not just on you, it's on them. So again, they want to help you be successful. Um, the franchise market today is, like you said, a lot different. A lot of people think franchise, oh, I don't want to own a McDonald's, and it's not like that anymore. Um, I know one group who who bought into a franchise, and their franchise uses a kiosk type model. It's a mobile kiosk type model, or a cart, and they spend their lifetime traveling. They have a large motorhome. Their kiosk or their business goes in a little trailer behind it, and when they get someplace that they want to set up their mobile home for a couple of days, a week, whatever, they get busy and they pull their kiosk out and set it up and start doing their business right there in the campground that they're parked at. As long as you've got an internet connection and a phone, pretty much there's a lot of businesses that you can conduct. So it's a great, like I say, there's a lot of great opportunities out there right now.
So you've been in the corporate sector, love all the different things that you've done, as well as now you're dealing with entrepreneurs. So what would be some tips and advice that you'd like to give somebody who would be interested in pursuing entrepreneurship?
Well, the first thing, don't think that it's going to be 100% easy, because it's not. It takes work. And probably the second thing is there's a lot of people out there who are available to help along the way, people that are coaches like I am, and that sort of thing. So get help sooner than later. Don't wait. Don't put it off. If it's your dream, go for it.
I agree. And that's one of the things that a lot of times, especially some of us who are, I want to say, highly skilled, and we think we know it all. And I used to be that way. And thank goodness, you didn't want to admit that you had weaknesses or anything like that. So you were afraid to ask for help. You didn't know, sometimes you didn't know who to ask for help. But now, I'm much older and wiser, and I understand. You need to surround yourself with people who are smarter than you. You don't need to be the smartest
Absolutely.
person in the room, even though that's great for your ego. That's not good for your business. So you need to surround yourself with people who have strengths where you have weaknesses, and getting coaches with people just like this one right here sitting in the seat. Let me tell you what, this is where it's at, because you can catapult yourself and save tons of money, heartache, headache, and energy by listening to those who have gone before you, so you don't have to repeat the same mistakes. I remember telling my kids, make some new ones. Listen to what I'm telling you about the mistakes that I make some new ones so we both can learn something. Don't make the same mistakes that mom did.
Absolutely.
And that's the same thing with entrepreneurs. You know, we've got access to the internet. We've got all of these resources. My referral partnership network, we're the most giving community out there. All you got to do is put a little note in there and what you're needing help with. And it doesn't take but a couple of minutes for folks to come on there and just willingly share their expertise with you. So don't reinvent the wheel. Reach out to people who know more than what you do. So what are some lessons that you've learned? What's something that you know now that you wished you had known a little bit sooner?
Again, the biggest lesson there is get help sooner than later. Um, it doesn't hurt to reach out, and it makes your life a lot less frustrating and a lot easier.
And, you know, get yourself, you know, you can have a little team of advisors, and this is what I do. And each project may require something a little bit different or whatever, but getting different people's feedback, you make your own decisions, but by listening from people who have all this different variety of experience, knowledge, education, know-how, connections, you can gain insights that you probably could have never come up with on your own. Then you can make a whole lot better decision on what's right for you. So, Gary, do you have any special offers or anything for our listeners today that you'd like to share?
My offer is pretty simple, and it's a continuous offer. I'll help you get as much information as you want about career opportunities at no fee to you, and there's no obligation. I want to keep you in a safe space, so you're not going to get a heavy sales pitch or something like that that you would get if you went to an expo or if you contacted a franchise on your own. So it's all about getting that information.
Can you think of anything else that we might have left out that you'd like to share with our audience members today on any topic or anything about what you do or what you provide?
No, I'm here. I'm available to help anybody who is interested. Don't hesitate to reach out to me, and I'll be glad to work with you and get you that information.
And do you work with people just inside the United States, globally, or what?
Fairly globally, there's a few countries that we don't have anything in right now, but we have some opportunities that pretty much span the world.
Fantastic. Well, all right, folks, you have been listening to Mr. Gary Sizemore. What a treat it's been to have you here today and learn more about your business. And folks, I really hope that you will consider, you know, if you're in a dead-end job that you hate, life's too short. I understand you need to pay your bills and put food on the table and all of those things, but you know, you can start something part-time, figure it out, go follow your heart, follow your dreams, and do that. Don't end your life when you say, I shoulda, woulda, coulda. Boy, I wish I'd have pursued that dream. I always dreamed of owning and operating my own business, but you know what? That someday just never come. Make today your someday. Really, honestly, give Gary a call, and you've got nothing to lose because it's not going to cost you anything. And just explore your options, see what's out there. So, Gary, I thank you again for joining us today. You want to share your website? I will put those links in the description, but you want to go ahead and tell them how to contact you?
Sure, you can reach me at G Sizemore, Sizemore, at esourcecoach.com. You can also book an appointment with me if you like, and that is gsizemore.youcanbook.me.
Perfect. So join us next time as we explore a little further into the wonderful world of entrepreneurship. We'll offer tips and advice on how everyday people just like you and me are building sustainable business models that can literally fund the life of your dreams. For those of you who are already in business, we're all going to help you discover a myriad of creative ways that you can grow and sometimes pivot your business if you need to. Tune in to learn how to avoid some of the most common pitfalls, listen to advice from people like Gary, and we'll also be answering some of your most pressing questions. You can send me your entrepreneurial questions. You can text or email those. I'll give you my text number. It's 850-499-7149. That's 850-499-7149. We'll try and answer those on an upcoming show. You've been listening to Who Wants to Be an Entrepreneur with Nancy Gaskins, where I've been profiling these fabulous entrepreneurs for our Profiles of Success program. We believe the best way to fund the life of your dreams is by becoming an entrepreneur. So we invite you, come join our tribe. So join us next time. And thank you again, Gary. Have a fabulous week.
Thank you.